Well, hello. Hi. I don't even know if we should do a show today. I'm thinking we skip it. What do you guys think? There's 2 of you in there. 2 people. Let's let's skip it. So, hey, welcome. It's CyberBuzz Radio. My name's Crim. The sound is probably terrible in here. You will see I'm just fresh out of the shower. It's smoking hot. I've got a fan back there, a fan back here, a fan up here. My computer fan is going through the roof. I honestly just assume that today is going to be a complete disaster and that I'm not going to survive through this show with how hot it is in here. So what do you guys think? Can we just call it off? Yeah? Cool? Nobody wants to be here anyways. Can we just not do today? I see a couple of you watching on the YouTube and maybe some people over hiding on Vim and even somebody hiding over on Twitch. But I mean, what do you guys think? I know that's a bad thing, and I know I keep complaining about how badly I fuck up streaming and that nobody wants to come anymore and that my shows are deserted and that I'm not entertaining and that they all suck. Well, that's where I'm at. Yeah, and the sound is bad and everybody has to watch on Vim. Let's call today off. Let's do it. That's way too disheartening. Let's shove for today. Let's do it. We're experiencing a massive heat wave here in Vancouver. And it's just so hot. It's ridiculous. Hi, I see a couple of you asking me what you think. That's pretty unlikely. Yeah, I know. But yeah, that's what I think, is I see more people are jumping in on YouTube, and I thought maybe, given that no matter what I do, my stream sounds like shit and I'm really hot and nobody wants to come anymore, why don't we call today off? Is that a bad way to start the stream? I think it is. Ron, let's do it. Let's pull the plug. It's really bad. Not leaving, just switching. Yeah, see, it's bad. Let's do it. Let's pull it. Let's sacrifice this one to the gods of heat and just say we tried and then not. Yeah? Okay. All right. What do you think? Everybody else is trying to find a place that's tolerable. I don't know what to do. Ron and I spent some time on this morning. My stream goes out in beautiful, high, perfect quality at 60 frames per second, 6,500 bytes per second or kilobits per second or whatever. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you. So, yeah. What do you think, Ron? I just need the word. And then I think you guys can regain your Saturday and go have fun. Not stuck here watching or listening to this. Yeah? And I will go like fucking lie on my floor somewhere and try and survive. How about that? I'm going to hit a good opportunity to just say fuck today. Fuck today. How hot is it? Seattle's hotter than me. We're climbing for... Hey, PC Hatter, I saw you just subscribed. It's cool. I'm so glad to have you. Welcome to me just giving up for the day. Man, oh man. So I've been gone all week. I've been off hiking. I made it back just in time for Full Force Radio. And holy shit. You're piping my YouTube audio into Discord. That's pointless. That's so pointless. I think we should just give up on today. I would really love to have all you guys here, but it's disheartening. It's completely disheartening. And also it's exhaustingly hot. Tom, I don't know what the heat is like. You guys always get really hot. You're used to really, really hot, miserable weather yourself. Here, we're topping out at 40 something today Celsius. I don't know what that is in space numbers. I don't, but it's hot. We're smashing all heat records here. It's not, I mean, for most people that's not hot, but we just don't do this. This is not, our summers are like 25, 26, 40 is, what is it? The 5 is right out. Monty Python-esque. 40 degrees is right out. So, I mean, I did the best. We really couldn't hear me. See, and it's so strange because people in other places and that are watching other feeds can hear it completely well and it's perfect. And I don't know why it gets worse every week. But yeah, it's really fucking disheartening. So given that, PC Hatter and a bunch of new people have subscribed, which is super cool. I'm really happy to have you. The idea, you don't have AC. No, No, I don't have AC. There's no reason to have AC. This never happens. We have like one hot day a year. And you know what? Anything like in the 20s, you don't need AC for that. That's not hot enough for AC. I've got a ceiling fan in every room. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Having AC is a complete waste of money and resources here in Vancouver. So it's crazy. But it means that like I am hot. Yeah, see, that's moderate for you. For us, that's like state of emergency. So yeah, I have to say, I'm out of sorts. Discord sucks. MSP Wave sucks. I don't know why. Ron graciously spent a bunch of time with me this morning. And I spent all of the time that I could handle before the show in the shower. I literally jumped out to get here. So I don't have a good show for you. I don't have any music picked. I'm in a bad mood now. And, you know, a bunch of you guys have come up here today to want to do CyberBuzz with me. And I kind of just want to be like, fuck this shit. Let's go enjoy our weekend. So, you know, we'll see. Everybody's talking about having AC. I'm sorry, I live in Vancouver. I live in a sheltered bubble on the West Coast where the temperature is always perfect. And I never have to worry about absolutely any of this, ever. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I'm feeling, Corbin. So for all of you, I'd like to entertain you very badly. But I recognize, relax. You look really hot. Yeah, no, I'm not going to relax. Don't ever tell. Anytime this is a woman thing or a man thing. Anytime anyone has ever been like mildly torqued out, don't tell them to calm down. Never in the history of, what do you mean, who cares? No. I'm allowed to care. It's my stream and I can be a bitch if I want to. There's a song about it, I'm sure. It's my live stream and I'll be a cow if I want to. That's where I'm at today. That's where I'm at today. And I don't have to. That's wild that we don't have AC. I live in Vancouver. Our winters, the coldest our winters get are rain, and the hottest our summers get are like pleasant sunshine. You guys that live in the US, I don't, whatever you're doing, I think it's very safe to say that we don't want to emulate that anyways. So there's a very specific reason that I live in Vancouver, and it's because it's always perfect and nice all the time. So I don't know what the background noise is like for you guys, given that I am running a multitude of fans. So many fans, just fans and fans and fans. And I have my window open, which I don't normally do because I think I live in an area that whenever the weather is nice, the traffic is excessive. Just people are tearing by on motorcycles and project cars and whatever. Really clear? Okay, cool. I try to have a noise gate prepared. I didn't even put on a face. I didn't do anything, and I'm just miserable. Do you have a wood stove to keep you warm in the winters? No, because it doesn't get cold. Winter here is like, ooh, it snowed once. Ooh, it's 0 degrees. That's it. We don't do anything. Yeah, I don't know how to explain this to you. Extreme weather in Vancouver, we don't do it. Hurricanes, never. Like tornadoes, nope. Just we don't do any of this. None of it. I don't know how to make it clearer than that. All of the things that every single one of you deal with on a daily basis everywhere else in the world, here in Vancouver, we just don't. We just don't. If I want snow, it's over there on the mountains. I'll go visit it. If I want really, really hot, I will just go to the interior where Canada's only desert is, and that's where the hot stays. And where I am in the Lower Mainland is perfect all the fucking time. Period. So this is stupid and I don't like it. I'm a fucking baby about it. I have a natural gas furnace. That's right. Yeah. In my house, because I know Solo's always interested, and we didn't have making stuff this morning. Solo's always interested in about, energy and kind of like homesteading and things like that. So yes, I have a forced air furnace and natural gas heating. So yeah. We got bears, though. Yeah, but bears are nice. This is just going to be like a random, not entertaining, not tech, not crypto, not synthwave, not helpful stream today. But yeah, bears are great. And they're just waking up. It's summer now. All the berries are starting to be out on the bushes. So yes, we have lots of bears. And they're very cute and they're very nice. And you just don't fuck with them. And they don't fuck with you. And then it's fine. If you don't mess with a bear wants absolutely nothing to do with you. It's not like, I don't know, everything in Australia or like a raccoon. Raccoons don't go anywhere near them. They want to fuck with you. So, yeah, I mean, nobody really wants to watch or listen to a completely unplanned tech show. or me dying of heat exhaustion with no music in a bitchy mood. So if there is anything that comes up, I mean, yes, we're moving into Hive's hard fork. I think we're down to like 5 days away, but who cares? Crypto is a fucking bloodbath. And so some people were asking me about that. So who cares? And then, I got a couple DMs from people saying that they felt like I'm not paying enough attention to them. I can't say who cares to that, but I can only give you as much time as I can give you. I'm trying. I'm fucking trying. So, we had a couple really strong CyberBuzz radios in a row, and we had a couple really strong Full Force radios in a row, and today, you get nothing. You get nothing, and you'll like it. So, we can either cancel the stream, or we can talk about completely random things, or questions, comments, whatever. And I can try and just, cycle through some music and see what I've got. There's always good synthwave to be listened to, so that's fine. Fox is like, holy fuck, Crim, what? Are you amazed after Fox is worried that I carried my TV up the mountain while I was hiking. So I was gone for a couple days. Most people probably didn't notice. But yes, I was gone. I was hiking all over Whistler and all over Mount Curry and in the Sea to Sky corridor, and that was really cool. Fox was mad at me because I never hike far enough for him, nor do I do enough natural things, and also I watch too much TV, also while I'm hiking. So, I'm back. Oh, Fox, you missed the caveat of the start of today's show. I'm a real bitch, and everything you guys say, I'm going to bitch back at you. This is it. Crim snaps. It's not a Crim snap, but she won't be as nice as she regularly is. I like that saying, Big Tom. Some days chicken, some day feathers. I don't know what you want. It all tastes like chicken. Okay, so I'll pull up the big synthwave list, and we can talk about some random things. And the other thing is, because it is so hot, I'm inside a lot more than I expected. I had a bunch of stuff that I wanted to do this weekend around the house and around my garden, and no. You guys, oh God, stop in the chat. Stop. But yeah, so I had a lot of stuff that I wanted to get done this week that it's not possible. This is too hot. And again, for a lot of you who are used to the heat, that's one thing. I'm a ginger. I'm a light-skinned ginger from a cool side of Canada, from a very temperate side of Canada. I'll heat stroke for sure if I spend too much time outside. It's just whether or not I think I'm tough, whether or not everybody else is used to it, I don't get a choice. This is my physiology. So that's uncool. And so what I ended up doing last night was a lot of reading under the fans, and also watching a bunch of movies. And I was trying to, the freckle tan does absolutely nothing. You'd think with such a strong freckle tan that I'd be protected, but I'm not. I'm not protected. Grandmother is not protected. Got to work outside in the mornings when it's hot. Yeah, I agree. Totally. And for me, I have to get up at like 4 or 5 a.m. to walk the dog to make sure he gets enough time and space and effort and freedom. Well, it's because for him it's too hot as well. I mean, it's the same sort of thing. He's acclimatized to the weather here. He's got a double coat. It does try to keep him a little cool, but it doesn't work. He's a poor, sad, miserable pupper. Hot pupper is hot. So in any case, well, my microphone's trying to make a run for it, because of course it is. Why not? Let's do that today, right, guys? Let's have everything fall over. Is it going to stay? It's not going to stay. You know what? That's fine. We'll have a musical interlude, and I'll try and fix my microphone. If there was ever a day for this to happen, it's fine. I'll do the whole show like this. It would be today. Why not, right? Of course. Why not? All right. Let me find some music here as I hold this desperately to my face. Let me find some music. We'll listen to some synthwave. Whatever. Fucking whatever. This is why I don't tweet anymore. This is why my show is just gone to shit. Are you guys tired of me saying that? It's the truth, though. Okay, let's see. I've got lots of good tracks, though. Let's just see. No, Hot Pupper just needs to lay on the floor. It's just not for him. What can I say? I'm not going to take him in the car right now either. It's not fair. That's why he's not up here. This room gets so hot with my PC running that bringing him up here is absolutely torture. There's so much good synthwave music that was just released too. What should I give to you guys? Why don't we do a new release? Because there's quite a bit of stuff. Why don't we do a new release from Fury Weekend with Extra Terra called Automatic Love? We'll start there, and then we'll just see what happens. What had happened? This is terrible. This is terrible. It's fine. It's fine. You see, the way that this microphone just wants to sync is my hopes and dreams and everything right now. Just slowly dying. Okay, yeah. So let's do it. Let's do a track called "Automatic Love" by Fury Weekend and Extra Terra. I'm gonna fix my mic, and then we'll just see. Whatever. Fuck it. Whatever.
Automatic love.
you go. Track called Automatic Love. I think I fixed my microphone. I don't know. So, hey, so many of you are like, hey, I haven't caught this show in a long time. Hey, and it's just like, oh, well, you've come to the wrong place, my friend. Things are a mess today. Everything's bad. We all feel bad. It's all bad. But, if you can handle that, I guess we're just, we're in for a penny. We're in for a pound. I've already started now. And so at this point, if I give up, then it's even worse. So, we're just, I don't even know. And apparently I've schmutzed on myself and somehow in the process of fixing a microphone. But hey, we're here. We're surviving. You're alive. I'm alive. It's really the best we could fucking hope for. And I know part of the reason that you come to these shows, part of the reason that you come and you watch a live stream is because you want to have fun. But you know what? Today, fuck it. Fuck everything. It's fucking stupid and I don't want to do it. So, Words is going to be here together and you're going to deal with the fact that I'm in bitch mode today. And then for those of you, many of you are watching the video, so you can't see that, but there's sort of a question mark? Shrug? Yeah, so it is. It's just the way today worked out, and a general downward spiral for everything I do in general. Everything I do and everything I touch turns to shit. But the shit can be entertaining, so there's that. That's what we will try for today. So it's really hot here. My stream, for whatever reason, through MSP Waves has been utter trash. Nobody can listen to it. Everybody hates it. Video doesn't work on mspwaves.com. I know. I'm sorry, Eileen. Ron tried his hardest this morning to fix it. It's not Ron's fault. It's not MSP Waves' fault. It's my fault, but we don't know why, and it's the restreaming service that I use, so I'm gonna have to nuke that and find another one, and that's gonna be a whole thing. So yeah, basically everything I touch is trash. It's unfortunate. I started off with such good, high, excellent entertainment, and here we are now plumbing the depths of not even depravity, but if you want that, come later today and you'll get that for Loud and Proud. You still can go to mspwaves.com. You could find other DJs who don't suck and who aren't miserable and who don't want to quit their shows. All right, so I'm basically just playing random music because I didn't even get a chance to plan music today because it is so hot, and I'm trying to just entertain you guys on the fly. And I was thinking of some topics that I was going to talk about today because last week, if you were here, and last week was week before last, 2 weeks ago, we talked a little bit about social engineering and the differences between social engineering and hacking. We talked a little bit about something like, say, phishing, and how phishing is kind of an aspect of social engineering versus hacking, which is something like brute force. So we did talk some tech last week. We did learn a little bit. It was useful. See, look at this. What did I even do? What is this even? I was just under my desk. I don't even know. Like, seriously. Fuck. It's dumb. So, yeah, I haven't gotten any of my gardening done. I'm sorry I don't have any gardening tips or updates or whatever from you guys because I'm supposed to be building more planter boxes and pulling up a paved section and making a rock garden. But no, not doing that. It's too hot. So, yeah, I got nothing. We're just everybody's commiserating with me today while I'm being annoying and someone you don't want to listen to. So, it is what it is. That being said, before we played that track, before my microphone decided to just yeet itself off the planet, it hated listening to me so much it decided it was just gonna die tragically. But so as it faded away and tried to shuffle off this mortal coil, I was talking about how yesterday I did a lot of reading because there's not a whole lot to do when it's this hot, and it sounds like way too much work. Yeah. The U.S. Marines motto is "Embrace the suck." I feel like that's just my life. That's not even a motto. That's just an innate sense of being for me. The mediocrity, I just live in it. I'm born in it, molded by it. I don't know. I didn't watch the Batman with Tom Hardy that everybody likes to quote, but I was molded by the suck. So what I was going to say is, when I wasn't reading books, I was watching a bunch of movies. And so I discovered something last night, and looking at the crowd here, the spread is fairly wide, and I suspect that maybe we won't have a ton of ridiculous anime fans, and Fox will start yelling at me for watching this sort of thing. But when I was a kid, in the 90s, anime was cool, and I'm willing to fight you guys on this, because anime in the 90s was ultra fucking violent. I'm not talking about the cute stuff. I'm not talking about everybody loves like Howl's Moving Castle or whatever. Anime from the 90s was savage, blood-filled murder town. It was ridiculous and over the top and fucking extreme, and those are the good ones. Those are the only ones that I watched. But so I have a soft spot for the really... Oh, okay, yeah, you've picked... Oh, they're talking about picking rocks and picking food and picking soil in the chat. So nobody's on the anime topic, but fuck it, I am now. So one of the things that kind of always was entertaining to me were these sort of retro future or dystopian takes, because let's face it, anytime you have an ultra violent topic, it tends to be where people connect, right? Like let's be honest, it's us. So you have things like Akira, which is Neo Tokyo, but I have a favorite that is really kind of a joke around the internet. It's called Fist of the North Star. And so if you've ever watched this, it's about a post-apocalyptic future where there's sort of these warring tribes of martial artists, and oh god, no, you guys are allowed to talk about whatever you want. Don't be sorry, I don't give a shit. I wouldn't listen to me either. But so yeah, I mean, this was a thing that I did when I was a kid, right? Like, I mean, you don't see it anymore now, and I don't even know if they're still making it. I'm pretty sure all adult anime now is just hentai, and that's to each their own. It's not for me, but to each their own. But so in the 90s there were a bunch, but yeah, Fist of the North Star is one, and it's basically the post-apocalyptic Earth is ruled over by a couple tribes of martial artists, and everybody's scrounging around, miserable, trying to mine the ruins and the vestiges of the old world, and everybody's fighting over water and that sort of thing. Basically your standard end of the world post-apocalyptic like retro future movie, but it's ridiculous because it's animated. And so there's this movie called Fist of the North Star, and all of the fight scenes in it are the most absurd ever, because the idea is there's the 100 crack fist technique. And so, in an anime, when you see somebody kind of land 100 punches at once, you're like, okay, yeah, whatever. Well, I found out last night in my heat-induced misery binging of whatever I could find on TV to watch, splayed out on the couch, drinking a cocktail at 10 p.m., waiting for the heat to subside. I found out there was a live-action version of this made in the 90s. And not only did this live-action version get made, it stars such notable 1990s figures as Downtown Julie Brown in an anime, because why not? It also stars teenage heartthrob. I don't even know his real name. I only know him as Rufio from Hook. That kid. Do you guys remember him? Speaking of the 90s, the kid that played Rufio, him, he's in it because anime. And some WWE wrestlers. Malcolm McDowell is in it. This was an awakening last night, folks. Watching this movie. No, not Bruce Lee. Definitely, that is far too high quality, sir. Far too high quality for this. It was absolutely terrible. And it was all these sort of anime things, these scenes from this really ridiculously famous anime about over the top, absolutely absurd violence, but it was a live action movie. And I'm gonna tell you, as somebody who probably, as somebody who maybe listens to the show because they like the nostalgia aspect, or they like some of the synth music, or they like some of these sort of retro future tie-ins, it's a mindfuck to see Downtown Julie Brown. If you guys remember her, what was she? She was like an MTV VJ? I don't know. She was just this lady on TV. She always had hats, kind of like Blossom, British accent. She was all about fashion. I don't even know. I don't know. She was just a part of the 90s when I was a kid, late 80s, 90s. But yeah, it's a real fucking trip to see Downtown Julie Brown handing out Molotov cocktails. I don't know. That was my last night. And so then I was in this rabbit hole of all these movies that I really fucking love and whether or not they ever got live action remakes. And I was thinking that Akira would be amazing, but nobody's made it yet. And I'm trying to figure out why. And I suspect it's probably because the entire world would murder the person who tried to make it if they made it as bad as this Fist of the North Star is. Anyways, if you're looking for a terrible hate yourself cartoon adaptation watch, it's something. I don't know if I highly recommend it, but put it on a list somewhere for something. Did you see Grappler Backy? I think so. Let me look it up and let me see if I actually know it. But I mean, I don't know. Do you guys like, it sounds like nobody watched any of this stuff, and I'm just now, talking to myself about nothing. Yes. Okay. I did. I'm looking this up. Yes. And Fist of the North Star was actually, like, outside of movies, it was also a TV show. But there were a bunch from this time period. And, like, I'm trying to kind of tie in the sort of retro future aspect here. Because a lot of the 80s and 90s anime and, like, mangas had that. But I suspect it is falling on deaf ears in the crowd. So that's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I just thought I'd tell you guys about downtown Julie Brown wielding a Molotov cocktail. With that being said, oh, what is this? What is this? Why am I here? Why? We should have never done this. We should have just quit while we were ahead. And I know this is like, what is it? Just the, I'll never financially recover from this. Except for me, every stream is like another nail in the coffin of my streaming and entertaining and teaching career. Every single stream, I should just stop while I'm still mildly entertaining. But okay, I have a lot of music, so I'm gonna flip through some of this because there are some really great tracks that were released this week. I do want to put them out there. And then next week we'll just go back to talking more about crypto and blockchain and sort of tech and things like that. And I'll make a better effort to have a show prepared. In theory, the heat wave should die down this week. So in theory, we will hopefully have solved the problems that are plaguing whatever is wrong with my stream and my stream only for MSP Waves, and makes it horrible for you guys to listen to. And hopefully it will be easier to stay in this room. And also, not have to spend all my time in a shower so I don't just dry out and dehydrate and, flash into a puff of dry dust when the heat hits. So, for any of you guys that subscribed this week, if you stay, I will be fucking amazed. But if I see you next week, I promise it'll be better and I'll be less of a cow. So yeah, have you seen the A-Team? Yeah, that's a pretty classic one, Fox. That's a pretty classic one, I have to say. I'm going to play something by Wave Shaper because I'm a huge, huge fan of Wave Shaper. And I've played a lot. Oh, look, I've got spammers. They know I'm so terrible that they're coming to spam my stream. I could become famous. Look, guys, they're going to let me buy followers. That's so cool. All right. So one thing I'm going to do during the break is I am going to... I'm being targeted by bots because my stream is so pathetic. That's amazing. Oh my gosh, that's like a new level of AI. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a track. I'm going to log into my restream panel and I'm going to ban all of these guys so you guys aren't getting bombarded by bullshit like that. I don't care. I mean, at this point, anything to liven it up. But for you guys, I don't want you to have to see that. So we'll do that. I did indeed promise some music. And like I said, I'm a big fan of Wave Shaper. And in all the time that I've been listening to sort of synthwave and kind of getting into the genre, Wave Shaper's always been there. Some really awesome albums and a lot of that sort of space travel themes and things like that, which for a long time, synthwave was either, sort of Blade Runner sci-fi or like outer space, floating astronaut in the cosmos kind of thing. Very similar to a lot of the themes in crypto art, actually, which is why I think it's such a nice fit. But Wave Shaper just always has cool-ass astronauts in all of their artwork. So they've got a new track called Eternal Journey. I'm going to play that. I'm going to go ban some fucktards out of the chat. I'm going to try and fix the overlay so it doesn't look like utter shite, which is, is it going to happen? Is it going to work? Nobody really knows. It's all it's all a mystery here on the show, but never let it be said that it's not entertaining, right? I mean, I haven't flipped my desk yet, so there's that. But, you know, some days I just think, nah. All right, I'm gonna fix it. Here's Wave Shaper. It's an eternal journey. I promise the show will fucking end. In an hour and a half, it will end. This will not be eternal. You will not be trapped in this hell forever. Nor will I. And then you can check out the full schedule at mspwaves.com. So, you know, for many of you, you know me, but you don't know the rest of the DJs. Some of you only find me coming from other shows. However you got here, it might be worth it. If you're enjoying streams and you want actual quality content, go to mspwaves.com. There are other DJs on the station who do live streams who might actually respect your time and your intelligence. Maybe. right, there we go. This track fades out very quietly and very slowly. Tom Wacker. Big Tom. Is that a pity subscription? I love it. Thank you. All right, so let's pause la musique. I kicked the shit out of those guys right off the stream. So there you are. There you have it. Don't be coming spamming my peeps. Is that a thing people say? Probably not. But yeah, so all good in the hood. But let's... Hey, there's a message that only shows up on my overlay. That's cool. I've never seen that before. Thank you. Look at that. Look at that, Big Tom. You're helping me discover things on the fly. So that was Wave Shaper. Really great track. They do lots of really kind of weird, ambient, space-themed synthwave. I highly, highly recommend checking out their discography. Am I barefoot? You better believe it! Why? Should I not be? I am. I'm barefoot right now. I am wearing pants, sadly, because this whole having a camera thing really messed up my jam. Really messed up my jam. I have to wear pants now because I don't want to get banned from everywhere. And also, I'd like to pretend that on the days that I am, on, that shows are entertaining, that, that's not why you guys stay. So, what were we talking about before break? Oh yeah, I tried to switch us over to like ridiculous anime stuff, but that didn't fly, which is fine. Again, just downtown Julie Brown with a Molotov cocktail. That's where we were going with that. And Rufio, the guy from he probably has a name, but he was the guy from the 90s that was in all sorts of movies that just had stupid hair and got stabbed. That's like every single movie that he was in, and probably his entire acting career. Bad hair, gets stabbed. Lots of teeny boppers probably thought he was very attractive. So, now that High Revised Sociology, I apologize in advance. The caveat for everybody joining is today's show is... And I actually thought about just not even doing it. But you know what? You can't rebuild your empire that way. And my empire has been crumbling because I am trash and everything I do is trash. So, in the attempts to at least have you keep coming back to watch a train wreck, I am streaming today without a plan. Now, there's lots of things that I could talk about. Stupid hair equals stabbing. You know what? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying we should discriminate against people based on their hair, especially between, Nine and I and this whole situation. But have dumb hair get stabbed. I'm just saying. Fuck around, find out. So there's lots of stuff we could talk about today. And lots of topics that we could touch upon, but we probably won't. So, we can go in the direction that you guys want. But honestly, I did a brief skim while I was, soaking myself in the shower, trying to cool down. I was doing a brief skim on my phone about stuff to talk about that was more kind of retro future or kind of strange disruptive tech. And all of the news from this week, everything going on this week, it's just, I don't know. How do you guys feel? Do you think it's because we're going into, a hot summer after a year that sucked, that people are just kind of like, it's the weekend, it's summer, I don't know how I feel about it, and just kind of, because that's kind of what I feel about. What can you touch on? Whatever you like. I don't make any rules here. You guys do what you got to do. Yes, that guy, Big Tom. That guy's stupid fucking hair. Big Tom dropped a picture of Rufio in chat. That's him. Rufio. Do you guys all remember that? Rufio. No? Hey. YouTube. SSB memes. What country am I from? I'm from Canada. So I'm on the west coast of Canada. I'm here in Vancouver. It's a very crypto-centric town. It's very artsy. It's very nature-filled. And so, all of the things that I normally do on this show, which is music and blockchain and technology and retro future and sort of that Blade Runner synthwave aesthetic, all of those things are really embodied here in Vancouver. Which country are you from? I told you, bro! Are you a bot? You might be a bot. I'm from Canada. Canada! And so one of the nice things is, Canada has always had a very active, or at least here in Vancouver, has always had a very active crypto scene. And so for me, a lot of people always ask how I got into crypto. And I knew about Bitcoin and Ethereum before I knew about Hive. And actually, ETH is a huge thing in Vancouver. And so, thank you. Now I feel bad for calling you a bot. Thank you. You know what? It's a good thing that I have personality is all I can say. But so one of the nice things is this was sort of a perfect match. Living here has always been a perfect match for all of my interests, or maybe they have shaped all of my interests. But at the same time, ETH was a big thing here, and I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about this, because obviously you guys know I'm part of the NFT showroom team. I think crypto art is a really interesting concept, and I think NFTs are a really important thing in this space. And I try not to have this show always end up talking about NFTs. But one of the things that I've noticed is there is a growing there's always tribalism, and we talk about that on this show a lot, but there's a growing tribalism in the crypto art space. Now, if you don't follow anything, to do with crypto art or whatever, you're not going to care. This isn't going to mean shit to you. But I thought we'd talk about it because one of the sort of big things in the crypto art space that have always been a big thing that is very polarizing for people are crypto punks. Do you know what they are? Let me know if you know what they are. What do you do? That's a good question. On this show, I play synthwave music. I talk about either the Hive blockchain or blockchain in general. I talk about retro future technology. Often it's space and it's, the near sort of, what do you want to call it? The near future, whatever that may be, whether it is dystopian or not. But if you're asking just in general, what do I do? What do I do for a living? I am a web developer. I am a graphic designer, and I work in-house for an educational company. Do you invest in Bitcoin? I don't. I don't live off my Bitcoin. I stack Bitcoin. I stack it because for me, it is a hedge against inflation and it is a tool for freedom. So I stack Bitcoin. I don't trade it. I don't have the balls for trading, frankly. But I do. I just accumulate. And someday when I need to use it, I will be trading with other people for Bitcoin instead of selling it for fiat. That's the plan anyways. But so in my real life, in my meat sack world, I am a graphic designer. I'm a web developer. I work in-house for an educational company. And I study pedagogy, which basically means I study the science of teaching, methods of teaching, a very specific philosophy. I create educational materials around that philosophy. And then I also, he's laughing at me. Oh, all right. Well, hey, at least I'm being honest. I can admit trading is like people who are like, hey, I'm down 35,000% since this morning. I'm like, whoa, okay. Whoa. And they're like, yeah, it's a little rough. I'm feeling a little sore. And I'm thinking, you probably lost more money in the last 15 seconds than I've ever owned in my life. Big respect. Not for me. But yeah, anyways, nobody cares about what I do for a living. So long story short, I am one of the people who hopefully is going to influence the world to help teach your kids to be smarter, critical thinkers, more intelligent, and hopefully take care of our planet and each other. Go fish! Entrust your children to me. What could possibly go wrong? What's my philosophy? My personal philosophy I can talk to you about. I'm not really going to talk about the company that I work for because, frankly, my OPSEC is terrible already. And I've already had people try to contact me outside of Discord and my work and my family. And so, if ever I feel... You know what? Sure. What the hell? Today's not a real show anyways. If ever I feel reticent with you guys, and if ever I feel like I need to keep a little bit, yeah, exactly, SSB, 100%. And you know what? If we teach kids to be respectful of each other and their resources and to build strong communities and to work together to, have the best lives for themselves of abundance and take care of each other, then the planet's going to be okay. It's as simple as that. But yeah, so if it's kind of hearkening back to the fact that I got some DMs from a couple of you, and it's easier for me to address them here, that you guys feel like I'm not giving you enough time, or I'm not responding to you in the way that you would like me to, or whatever the case is. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to balance work and life, especially in a blockchain space, and especially in a privacy-minded space, or in a space where, you know, we're going into a world where if you talk about, say, I have a giant a giant pile of Bitcoin in the background or whatever, your OPSEC matters, right? So here's one thing. We talk about personal responsibility a whole lot on this show. A whole lot. Personal responsibility. We talk about it a lot. But the reality is how much you earn per month. That's a rude question. I don't earn that much. I'm an average earner for Canada. Just right in the middle. And then I got lots of side hustles, and, you know, I do okay. But that being said, and you know what, depending on where you are in the world, salaries are very different all over the world. So, you know, but come on now. The reason that I'm saying this is because it's really tricky. I have people who are incredibly important to me that I love in my life who are very uncomfortable with the fact that I stream. Stop this Restream bot. No, you know what? Here's the thing. That Restream bot's SSB is the only reason that we can connect with you, because I'm actually streaming to a bunch of places. I'm streaming to YouTube. I'm streaming, or at least just decrease its frequency. No, here's the deal. Restream bot is actually a relay SSB. And to everybody else listening, that bot is actually carrying messages between Twitch, between YouTube, between Trovo, between Theta, between Discord. So every single message from that particular bot is a real person on another platform. You're talking to people. It's not a bot in that it's talking for itself. And in fact, SSB, on Discord, you show up as Restream bot. So I know that's a little confusing, but what that means is you guys can watch wherever you want. I don't want to force you to go to one platform or another. I want you to enjoy Vim TV. I want you to enjoy Twitch. I want you to go to the platform that you love the most. And the way to do that is to allow you to all talk to each other and to me without worrying where you're at. That's Restream bot. So, sorry about it. Oh, I make a ton of Hive as a witness. Yeah. Oh, God. Please don't bring that up again. I got another couple messages because people love. Yeah, really, SSB. Totally. Those are all real people. Every single person that you see messaging you through Restream bot is somebody who's chatting right now somewhere else. So, yeah, please. Oh, God, I'm never going to finish any of these. Long story short, if I ever seem reticent, or, you know, if I'm, you know, I'm not getting back to you as quick as you want me to, or, you know, you feel like you're emptying your heart out to me and I'm not reciprocating the way that you want me to, it's not because I don't care about you. It's not because I don't want to. It is really, really difficult to keep up, and I'm not a famous person, nor am I even remotely that busy, but it's just, please don't think that I am purposefully trying to dunk on you or whatever. It's a lot. And OPSEC, that was the thing we were talking about. In Bitcoin and in crypto and in whatever kind of sort of digital currency that you might be working with, personal responsibility matters. And especially when we talk about, well, you know, if you live in Canada, you could just send Interact e-transfer to wherever. I can't believe the States doesn't have an equivalent. But if you fuck up, the banks are there to help you. If you really mess up, then the banks are there to be like, okay, you proved it, you messed up, we will help you. In crypto, that's not possible. So personal responsibility becomes really important. And so if you're one of those people who's like, yeah, I have $2 billion in Bitcoin just kicking around. Solo, Jesus Christ. My server is actually made up of TVs, actually. But, you know, if you're one of those people and you start talking about it and you say, well, yeah, of course, and I keep everything on a cold card in my home. We like to talk about things on this show. Last week, we talked about hacking as a brute force attack. Well, here's the deal. Whether we like it or not, if somebody knows you have cash under your mattress, there's an excellent chance somebody's going to brute force their way to your mattress, right? But we know that. If you say, I'm keeping $1 million cash under your mattress, somebody is going to break into your house and they're going to rip open your mattress and they're going to be looking for your $1 million. The same thing. Yeah, they don't, Viking Adventure. It's a fucking nightmare. I have been trying to send money. It's another reason that I'm so bullish on crypto. They have to have, They have to have Cash App, they have to have Zenmo, they have to have Venmo, whatever the fuck all these things are, because they can't just send money with like an email for free between their banks. It's insane. It's barbaric. Where I'm going with this is, if there are times where I don't answer the questions that you ask me, it's not because I don't care about you. It's not because it's not interesting information. But there are certainly some things in my life that, like my workplace, it would be very easy to trace me. And frankly, can you hack my neighborhood Wi-Fi password? I'm not a good hacker, but I highly suspect that if I tried to just connect to every random Wi-Fi network in my area with the default modem password, that I could probably do that. Yeah. And so this is another thing. OPSEC matters, right? OPSEC matters, especially in a day where all of our devices now connect to these networks and we just get them out of the box. We just set them up. Nobody's running a VPN. Like, we are moving into a space where this stuff actually really does start to matter. It really does. So I'm not a hacker, but I certainly do have a slightly hardened setup because I'm, personal responsibility. Nobody's going to come fix my shit if it all gets messed up. But yeah, so Apple Pay, same thing like that. Fuck you, Android assholes. Yeah, I'm an Android asshole. But the way that we talk about the stuff we do, especially live on stream. You guys know my face. You guys know where I live. Honestly, pretty much any of you, if you went back through chat and you did a lot of work, you could probably put it together and you could probably find me pretty easily. And that's fine. I don't have a lot of Bitcoin to steal, so don't worry about it. But the reason that I bring this up is often people ask me about my work, or they ask me really personal questions, or they ask about money. And there are some questions I'm just always going to dodge like a big fat asshole, because either the people in my life or the circumstances in my life, I don't want to continue to have some of the events that have already happened. Eye-openers, let's put it that way. Eye-openers for me. That it's good, that we are good. We are good friends, and that I appreciate each and every one of you so very, very much. But I'm not 1,000% ready to have you show up at my door just yet. She has a lot of guns to steal. Thanks, Ron. Thank you. This is good. I don't. I had a boat accident. Crypto, boat accident. Guns, boat accident. Weed, it's legal now. I don't know, whatever. Anything that you guys want that I may have, boat accident. Summer's terrible for boat accidents. What can I say? All right, so let's, I dodge reality. That's right. I'm never actually here. Time is a flat circle. I am a construct. We're all living in a simulation. Synthwave it is. So let's continue. Now, there's an artist I really like. His name is Weiss, and he was kind of this relatively unknown. That's my weakness, that I dodge reality. Yeah, maybe. I live in reality in all of the times that I'm not live streaming. When I'm live streaming, I do have, especially on this particular show, I have an interest in the non-real or the theoretical or the hypothetical. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just living. Maybe I'm in denial, baby. Maybe I'm really in Egypt. So there's this synthwave artist I really like. His name is Weiss, and he was fairly unknown for a while. And then there is another big streamer who most people really enjoy. His name's Dr. Disrespect. He loves synthwave, and so he often brings sort of synthwave tracks into his streams, and usually when he does, they blow up. Well, Weiss, he played some Weiss tracks and people really liked it. And so Weiss ended up actually doing some synthwave tracks with like Dr. Disrespect voiceovers. And so he's been taking off. So I thought, okay, well, he's just released a new track called Street Sweeper, which is a pretty recurring theme in synthwave, whether it is the name of an artist to the name of a song, or all of the ideas of these dirty neon covered streets that need cleaning. Street Sweeper comes up a whole lot, but that's the name of this particular track by Weiss. My name is Crimson Clad. This is CyberBuzz Radio. Whatever the fuck today is, it's bad, but we're making the best of it, honestly. I'm really hot. I'm still fairly damp in all of the wrong ways. Where do you play games? Yeah, we could talk about that when we come back. We could talk about gaming. Why not? And for today, I'm just shooting the shit with you. It's literally the worst show. But you know what? You're still here. I'm still here. It's got to count for something. So my PC fan just ramped right the fuck up. I might grab that other fan and move things around. So if it gets really loud in here, it's because things are hot. It's very fucking hot here today. Goddamn Vancouver. Get it together. Here you go. It's a track by Weiss, Street Sweeper. My name is Crimson Cloud. This is CyberBuzz Radio. If you come back next week, it'll probably be better. Maybe. Probably. I don't make any promises. Because I break them a lot. There you go. Speaking of gun noises. All right, so Street Sweeper by Weiss. Hey guys, my name's Crim. This is CyberBuzz Radio, and a little musical interlude halfway through the stream. Are we gonna make it? Is my computer literally going to rocket itself into the lower stratosphere? These questions and more may or may not be answered as the day goes on. So, can you guys hear that? No, probably not. Listen, trust me, it's really loud. It's really insane. So during that break, there were quite a few different questions, talking a little bit about guns. Yeah, so it's funny because Canada has kind of a nonsensical rule system when it comes to firearms, especially recently. So yeah, we had a really messed up shooting where a police informant actually ended up impersonating the police. I'm not getting air conditioning. I'm not. I mean, this is literally 2 days out of the year that this does this, if ever. I don't think we hit 40 at all last year. So for this one day, I'm going to be hot and I'm going to deal with it. So what? Fuck you. Fuck you and your air conditioning. It's dumb. But so, yeah, long story short, we had this horrible shooting, and this guy impersonated the police, and there were a lot of sort of ethical questions around who should be able to create replica police uniforms, who should be able to print police decals for the sides of vehicles, who could buy that. And, I don't care about any of that. I'm obviously, as a firearms enthusiast and a firearms owner, I don't really like any of the rules that are happening, largely because a majority of Canada's gun murders and gun problems come from, hate to say it, come from guns that are smuggled up from the U.S. And they come with drugs. So drugs and gang activity. If you could actually just fucking work on that, you would have all of these side problems that we like to blame, the Liberals, especially the BC and federal Liberals, like to blame firearms for. It's pretty simple. If you stop people from running guns and drugs, people won't be using guns and drugs in your neighborhoods. And so legal firearms owners have some really cool and interesting things that happen. And so you saw a pretty cool job description. Migratory bird census. Yeah. Dude, go. Follow the birds. Follow and count the birds. But basically where I'm going with this is, no, you know what, Solo? There's nothing that I'm missing that I'd like to buy. I'm a handgun enthusiast specifically. And yeah, my guns aren't just mostly peaceful. My guns are peaceful. I use them for target shooting. I am a sports shooter. I don't hunt or anything. So, I mean, I know that's the running in joke or whatever around the States, but for me, I can say that completely, fully, and truthfully. I've never thought about home defense. I've never had a firearm for any reason other than I like the challenge of going outside and putting expensive holes in paper. So, with that being said, hey Julia, with that being said, the way that things are happening right now is quite interesting. This might be a topic even for Ron's show, is that there are a lot of guns that are trying to be banned in Canada. And there are a lot of rules in Canada that don't necessarily make sense. And a lot of the rules are very arbitrary. And so when this most recent firearms ban happened, and these new rules and this new bill C10 and all this and whatnot that's coming out now, there are quite a few Canadians who are pushing back. And so what ended up happening most recently, and that is still undergoing right now, is that a group of Canadian firearms owners actually went to court and they said, hey, you need to show us all of the evidence that you have collected. This is to the federal government. You have to show us all the evidence that you've collected that you are basing banning these firearms on, because it's very arbitrary. The rules make no sense. And in some cases, they even, cover things like firearms or like airsoft guns, or the guns that are used in, shooting sports like biathlons. And you'd basically end huge swaths of sport, of the economy, of, all sorts of things in Canada. So this is a problem. And it went to court, and the judge ruled, actually, yeah, you know what? You have 30 days. You have 30 days, Trudeau and Trudeau government, you have 30 days to provide this evidence. Show us why you think these firearms should be banned. And this is happening right now. And so the Trudeau government actually sat on it for the whole 30 days. They sat on it. They didn't comply with the judge. And right before the time expired in their order to do this, they actually filed a, I'm trying to remember what it's called, a section 30. It's a section of the charter. But anyways, what they did is they filed with the government, the federal government filed with their lawsuit to say, well, actually, this evidence is so dangerous that we are filing an appeal to have it sealed. And we will have it sealed not only from the public, but we will have it sealed from you, the federal judge. So things are kind of in a standoff right now because the country is actually pushing back against these rulings, and a judge actually did side with the people against the federal government. However, the federal government is now attempting to do whatever they can to create as many problems around this as possible. Now, I don't know about you, and many of you are not Canadian citizens, but as people in Canada, whether you are a firearms enthusiast or not, you should be asking, what the fuck? A federal judge in federal court ordered our federal government to share the documents that they collected, the evidence that they collected in order to pass these laws that everybody wants, that everybody is protected by. And the judge said, cool, hand it over. Let's take a look at it. Let's do it. Judge ordered them to do that. And they said, oh, no. We can't do that. It's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. We want it sealed forever. And no one can look at it, including the judge and including other government agencies. No one can look at it. So that's the tack they're taking right now. So I don't have an update for you guys. But what I can say is that for a lot of these ridiculous things that are being suggested right now in the firearms ownership debate in Canada, the country is starting to push back. And a lot of it for me is I don't have a lot of the same beliefs as some really hardcore firearms owners, but if I was someone who isn't a firearms owner, I would wonder what the hell the government is doing. I didn't even know this section existed. I mean, you always assume the government has some way of fucking you over. But this one was a new one for me. And so to learn about this particular ability to block evidence from the public and from judges, from courts, from other agencies, I didn't know what that was. And now I know. And now I'm incredibly skeptical. Whereas before I was like, all right, we're going to look through this and we're going to say, well, we decided everything black and everything over this length and everything over this particular velocity and everything of this. And, there'd be some rules and some challenges could be made based on those rules. But now I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? All right, so that was a really weird tangent off on the firearm thing, which we don't always talk about on the show, and it's not really what this show is about. But yeah, so trust, Canada's interesting that way. There's a lot of pushback here, and it will be very interesting to see what happens over the next little bit. I don't want to get too far into talking about politics because that's a clown world. That's a clown world topic if I ever have one. And frankly, I think all of it's just bullshit anyways. So I try to pay as little attention to politics as possible. All right. So maybe we can do another track just because it is hot. The temperature is rising. The air that I'm blowing on me here is getting hotter and hotter and hotter. So we're going to keep going. We got about 40 minutes left in the show. For those of you guys who have showed up, if you're a new subscriber, if you're wondering what the hell this show is about and why it's so bad and why you don't understand it, today is kind of an off day. We did a lot of troubleshooting for the stream this morning for the station. I'm trying to keep my cool. I, hopped in the shower to try and stay hydrated and cool for this show, but the room is heating up and there's just a lot that I didn't prep. So honestly, today we're just playing random music. I'm in a big bitchy McBitch face mode. I'm addressing all the things that you guys hate, and I'm basically kind of blowing off the show live. So if you can handle this, everything from here on out will make you happy. Every show will be better than this. And you know what? I say that every week. So maybe it's not true, but you won't know unless you come back. So I'm going to play something by FM Attack. And there are quite a few tracks that I've played from FM Attack before, and I'm a huge fan. He's a local guy from here in Vancouver, and last week I actually played something off of what he thinks is going to be his last synthwave style album. We were talking about the art on it, which is this beautiful sort of 80s retro pastel vision of Vancouver's downtown and the sort of the cool skyline that Vancouver has. And so, yeah, this week he's actually released another track with, I don't know how to say this guy's name, so I don't care. Him and Jasper, they released a new track, and I thought, okay, well, let's do it. It's called Footprints. My name is Crimson Clad, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more. There's still lots of topics that we can touch on today. It won't be organized, and you won't learn anything, and I'll probably yell a lot, and you know, it is what it is. It's just hot. It's so hot. All right, there you go. A good track by FM Attack, and honestly, like, I don't know if he's going to be moving on from synthwave or not. I'm keeping an eye on what is going on there. I turned up upside down and sideways and backwards and inside out. But yeah, so there's I'm not 100% sure what he's doing with his career. He's mentioned that this is an end for him, and whether or not it will be synthwave or something else in the future, tough to say. But yeah, I highly recommend looking at FM Attack's discography. So Trinkowski, you're in Europe. Only bandits can buy guns over there. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, these are always sort of the like caveats with common sense firearms laws is, guess what? Almost always the people who are doing crime with a firearm of any sort are criminals, and they're not following whatever rules you have. And so whenever you try to police a criminal by enacting rules on somebody who's following rules that you already have, you can't be shocked when it doesn't work. It's crazy. And you know what? This comes up in the crypto space and in the financial space and in the whatever. It's kind of hilarious that is our go-to all the time is, how do we stop criminals from doing things? I know, let's put more restrictions on law-abiding citizens. And that is tricky. That is tricky because guess what? It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work, and you're gonna get real mad population who start knocking down your door and gumming up your slam dunk bills in the federal courts, and here you are. Believe it or not, Canadians aren't really going with it. But yeah, so you guys are talking about silencers. To not go too far down the firearm debate for too much longer, yes. So the way that Canada does things, because Canada likes to make really, really arbitrary rules, they often ban based solely on, I don't know, random things, and often they like to do catch-all bans that they don't spend a lot of time thinking about. And so often they will make a statement that they think makes a lot of sense that will catch the specific firearm that they want, and it will end up blanket covering a bunch of firearms they didn't want, and then they have to walk it back. And this happens all the time in Canada. So as I was mentioning, there were some muzzle velocity rules that were made that actually ended up catching a bunch of airsoft rifles. And so a lot of the things that are happening right now, one of the big pushbacks is quite a few of the sport shooters that Canada would normally be sending to the Olympics. So right now, Canadians have some really awesome female shooters. Female shooter going to the Tokyo Olympics. Technically, right now, in some cases, can't actually practice with some of the firearms that she would normally be using for literal Olympic sports shooting. So, but with all that being said, so the way that silencers work in Canada is it's not even that a silencer is banned. It is the ruling is that anything that muffles or quiets or has the intention of dampening the report of a firearm, the sound of a cartridge being shot, the report of a firearm, that is technically banned. So muffler, silencer, whatever you want to call it, any improvised device, all gone. Doesn't matter. Tough titties. Thanks for coming out. Try the veal. So yeah, it's one of those things that just, it's tough because, and I can see we're getting into some of it in the chat too. A lot of people go, well, why would you need a silencer? And it's true. But those are some of the things that Ron talks about a lot on his show is, where do personal property rights, where do individual rights, where do we start saying, well, you can't have something simply because I don't believe you should have it? Well, there's a lot of people too who are like, I don't believe you should have crypto because you shouldn't have it. And that is a tricky thing because here we started out and at first it was, well, fuck, only the computer nerds use crypto. Those guys, losers. And then it was, well, only the hackers use crypto. Ugh, those guys are terrible. And then only the criminals and the drug dealers use crypto. And then, well, only the maxis use crypto. And then only small companies accept crypto. And now, just recently, only small countries accept Bitcoin. Listen, I'm not saying it's inevitable, but that kind of discussion around, I believe you should be able to have something and base that solely on your opinions of personal safety and comfort it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I don't debate that. But I am a firearms enthusiast, and I believe very strongly in safely using firearms in your day-to-day life and having a lot of fun with them. So, I mean, I get right off the bat. I tweeted about this once and once only, and my God, the amount of people who jumped down my throat, who called me a murderous bitch and a homicidal maniac and this, that, and the other thing. And I mean, you know what? I get that they probably have either heard of or been adjacent to somebody who was harmed with a firearm, and I get that. But I also understand that, unfortunately, it is our nature as humans to harm each other, and a firearm is often not involved at all. And we don't necessarily look at the root causes between people. Gotta take care of each other, man. Crypto is freedom money. Think about it. All right. So, hey, today's show, it's been bad. I can't believe you guys have stuck through this with me. We've literally been talking about whatever. There's been no prep. There's been no tech topics. There's been nothing that you've learned. There's been nothing useful. And honestly, I'm just kind of in a crabby bad mood. So, all considered, we've been doing okay, all considered. Blowing up hogs with tannerite. See, that to me, I get it. I get that there are real, actual wild hog problems in all sorts of areas in the States that are really problematic. But to me, that's just, that's gross. Man, you got to do what you got to do. But, treating animals with kindness and respect is an important part of my life. So, not for me. Not for me. If you want to blow up a pig, don't blow up my pigs, ? But, that's a you thing, not a me thing. Okay. So as it is, reminds you of your teaching days. Oh God, revised sociology fun. Well, I think everybody got to dissect the pig, right? That's a pretty classic one, the dissecting the pig. All right, sighs deeply. I'm upsetting 9. I'm sorry, 9. I'm sorry. All of my opinions are wrong, and I'm bad. What can I say? All right, so we can continue with more music, or we can all hug Crim. Thanks, Fox. I know you're trying to cheer me up. Listen, I'm just in a bad mood. It has nothing to do with any of you. It's hot and I'm crabby. I'm not getting to do any of the things I want. I'm not putting on a good show. These are all me things. They're never you things. When I say I'm in a bitch mood, it's never a you thing, and it's always a me thing. So when you have an infestation of rats in your house, let's see how you kindness them out. Oh, well, I know. Sighing, the heavy sighing, that's all. Because Canada, we are hugging me. Good. But yeah, you know what? I actually really like rats. I would not want them to live in my house. We would do the same as we did at work. We did live traps and relocation. Although, you know what, to be quite fair, relocating rats into the forest, all they're going to do is run into someone else's house. Like, you're really kidding yourself if you actually 1,000% believe that, like, a live, kind, pest live trapping company is doing anything, like useful. Honestly, like, yeah, we trapped this rat. We took it out. Like, we had little mice traps, and they're like, yeah, we took them out. We let them go in the woods. So yeah, well, the mouse knows how to get back here, and it will. Let's be realistic. But that's fine. I did the fetal pig. I did the frog. The fetal pig was actually pretty cool, to be quite honest. I mean, I don't know. Because you're not killing it. It's already dead. So, I mean, at that point, you may as well. And it's one of those things. You got to learn. Because there's a lot of people that don't learn how to butcher or do things like that in your life anymore. We live in a very urban reality, and that's one of those things where eventually you kind of have to get over some of that queasiness, right? Right? That sounds about right, Julia. All right, so today's been a disaster. This is, it's very un-CyberBuzzy, shall we say. It's a very non-CyberBuzz topic day, but we're making the best of it. We've talked about firearms, and we've talked about crypto as freedom money, and we've talked about how I'm a cow today. And that's really all we've gotten through. A whole lot of bitching, mostly. Lots and lots of bitching. You guys never dissected anything. Interesting. So, like biology and things like that, you never actually, like, took something apart and looked at the bones and the skin and the flesh and the muscles and the sinew and never really just looked at how they work? no, Tom. Oh no. Yeah, Grenouille always makes me laugh because I always mention him and people don't know who he is. And then I realize maybe it's you only know Grenouille because Grenouille's French for frog and people in the States don't care about French. I don't know. I'm not sure. All right. So there are a bunch of things that I was going to mention. But one of the things that I thought I would bring up because why not? There's a game that I am following. I'm following it and I've mentioned it to you guys before. What are we talking about? Yeah, absolutely. Cleaning them when you're hunting, cleaning things. Yeah, absolutely counts as dissecting. Absolutely. When you're deciding how to clean and butcher your meat, you're absolutely looking at all of the pieces of it and trying to decide what is it that I'm keeping? What is it that I'm throwing away? What is it that I could use for a different task? What is it that I could eat? Yeah, there's a lot of work there. So I totally agree. You should have a knowledge. And if not, if you're going to be hunting for subsistence, then you're probably going to have to learn real quick, right? Have you killed a cougar? 9, because that's a pretty big flex if you have actually killed and eaten a cougar. Jesus Christ. But so what I was going to mention, while everybody's still talking about pigs, and we do. We have interesting game meets here as well. And we have a big festival called Brewery and the Beast, which is coming back this year for the first time after, our COVID break. Brewery and the Beast is delightful, and it's often a lot of interesting, sustainable and game meats and local craft beers. I'm looking forward to it. I'll let you guys know. But what I was going to mention, totally unrelated, is a game that kind of made me think of you guys. It made me chortle a little bit. And there's a game I'm following. Called Lo-Fi, and I've mentioned it before, and it is a VR game that it's a VR game that is a very Blade Runner-esque world. You are a detective. You can play it however you want. You're flying around in your laser car, and there's androids everywhere, and it is the absolute sort of height of everything that we talk about as the aesthetic of this show and sort of the retro future tech noir kind of trend that's going on right now. And the reason that I bring this up, that's a flex for sure, VA. Holy shit. A friend of yours had to fight a cougar with a knife and has the scars to prove it. Here? Because, it's pretty normal. Like, last year around this time, there was a cougar just in the park right across from my house. So when I walk the dog, if the dog's hackles go up, then I don't go into the forest. And they put up signs, and sometimes they'll have the RCMP patrolling if they know that there's a cougar that's going to leap out of a tree and myrtleize me while I'm walking my dog. But, you keep your eyes and ears open while you're walking in the woods in BC. That's a normal thing. Bears are your least favorite to tangle with. Yeah, I don't know. I run into bears all the time. Bears are just like a part of my day. I don't know. Bears to me, I don't fuck with them. They don't fuck with me. Avoid. Exactly. But it is tough because in the area that I'm in, bears are incredibly common. And actually cougars are too. But bears are very, very common here. So you see them, they see you, you say, peace out, you go your way. The bears go their way, and you just never the twain shall meet. But so coming back to Lo-Fi, the reason that I bring this up is the developer was tweeting back and forth, and somebody mentioned the Techno Viking. Now, his gifs come up on this show a lot, which is hilarious. Techno Viking is this sort of meme from the 90s, and he's in some sort of street parade, and he's this big, ripped, Viking-looking dude, and he's dancing down the street. And it turns out he actually didn't like the Techno Viking video. He didn't like that he became a viral meme, actually. He was quite angry about it, in all honesty. He hated being Techno Viking. But the reason that this came up is somebody was kind of joking about him and his, the idea of Techno Viking. And so the developer of Lo-Fi decided, well, I'm going to make an arcade inside this VR game. And I'm going to make these meta mini games to put inside that arcade. And so one of the games that he is creating is a knockoff of Pistol Whip called Techno Viking. And it is, you are marching down the street with electric axes, and there are a bunch of other ravers, like cyborg ravers, dancing in the street, and you, as Techno Viking, are going along down the street to the beat, smashing these dancing cyborgs with an electric axe. And I thought, my God, there are still creative people in the world. We can still have fun. There are still fun things to do. I have faith. Oh, God. All right. We're still arguing about bears and cougars and things in the chat. And I see we're talking about foxes. They're cute. I would never eat a fox, nor would I keep their fur. But you know what? Everybody's different. Yeah, and so Nine is saying that her dad was a trapper, in which case that very specifically was for the fur and for the parts of the animal. When you're a trapper, that's literally what your product is. But yeah, Julia, it looks amazing. I'm gonna try and find the video of it, but you're basically see all these like weird techno ravers like standing around and dancing in the background or whatever, you know, just like you're walking down the street and you're fucking smashing them with an axe to the music. It's delightful. Absolutely delightful. So I'll find that clip and I'll drop it in chat. And it's literally called Techno Viking. And probably Techno Viking won't support it. And that's sad. That's sad to me. So in any case, I'm actually looking forward to the borders being opened again, because one of my pilgrimages every year is to go and take photos of baby foxes. And I wasn't able to do this for the past 2 years because of fucking COVID. So once the Canada-US border opens again, I will be able to go back to my old haunting ground where I know the babies are. I know there's a generational family, and I make a little pilgrimage every year, and I will hopefully get some new photos. Hopefully I've missed two generations of the family. Very sad. I actually have a fox collar as well, Julia, and I don't wear it on my coat most of the time, but I do have it, and it is very nice, and it's very warm. It's tough. I don't know. All right, so maybe one more track. I'm going to go looking for that video of the Techno Viking mini arcade game, and I'm going to find some more music to play for you guys. And, I mean, I don't know. Bears, I wouldn't want to fight one, but if you stay, you know, if you're not near their babies and you're not near their food source or their den, they generally don't want to mess with you. And I mean, I've had so many close encounters with bears. I thought one was Murphy in the bushes one time, and I almost pet the bear on its butt because it just had a little tiny chunk of bear butt sticking out of the bushes, and it was like, okay, yep. I don't know what happens. It happens. All right. So let me see what else I could play for you guys, because I do have so much music that I want to play for you, and only so much time to share it with you. So maybe, baby, what did I play? I played Fury Weekend already. I played, why don't we do... I'm going to do something by Volcor X, who I'm a really big fan of. And I'm going to do a track, Volcor X and Electric Dragon. It's called Masked Death. It's right up my alley. And Volcor X makes some of the best music out there. Volcor X and Droid Bishop are probably some of my absolute favorite full instrumental, like, soundscape synthwave artists. So this is a new release, and I will put it out there. And not to mention, there's a bunch of really great new releases for metal this week too. So I'm hoping to have new Green Lung for you on Thursday and cool stuff like that. It's good. It's exciting. This is CyberBuzz. Let's do it. Oh, Fox. We're not playing soft. Sorry, man. Yeah, there you go. Okay, some spooky dark synth there for you, Volcorex. Let me flip back. So I'm in like a couple different conversations. Hi, there's a ton of people joining us on YouTube. Hello. Today's show is trash and you won't learn anything. And we're almost done, but it's okay. We've been talking about many non-CyberBuzz topics, such as firearms, bears. I don't know. I've lost track of all the things we've talked about, but they're not very cyber buzzy, but that's okay. So just catching up on some stuff in the chat. And so, and I'm trying to remember the name of the provincial park. I could picture it. You're standing in the meadow there. There's a big parking lot. There's a truck kind of sleep pull out there, and you look right up at it. I want to say it's like Mount Robson, but that's not the right name. I'll look it up, but I have some pictures of it on my phone because Golden is a fabulous area. Oh, I'm jealous. But yeah, I've got lots of pictures of the mountain on my phone. I've gotten a lot on my camera, and I'm hoping to kind of share some of those with you guys from my hiking earlier this week. But one of the things we were chatting about was Techno Viking. And Techno Viking, the mini game, not Techno Viking, the human. So I dropped it in chat there. You can click on it and you can see. And it's basically, it's going to be a mini game inside of Lo-Fi, the VR sort of tech noir mystery open world VR game. But inside that, he's going to have a mini game inspired by, you see, I recognize my mountains, girl. I recognize my mountains. Don't even worry about it. Show me a mountain. But that being said, so one of the reasons that I recognize it right off the bat is because there's a through hike that I want to do there. There's a couple, you have to actually check in at the park, and then you go from there at sort of base, and then you do a couple days long hike of a trail, and you can actually stay in the campsite, and you have to book it before you go in. And I remember standing just behind that building and looking up at it and being like, you bitch, I'm coming for you. Someday, me and you. But then I didn't get a chance to do it that summer. So it's up here. It's etched on the front of my brain because I'm going to climb that fucker. But so anyways, the Techno Viking is dropped in there, this mini arcade game. It's pretty cool. It's on rails. It's a like a beat-based, kind of like a shooter. If you've never played Pistol Whip, we talk about it on the show sometime. Lots of great synthwave in the soundtrack. And the idea is you're on rails. You don't move, but the level moves around you. So you're going along on rails in time to the beat. You're shooting bad guys. Wow. In the case of Techno Viking, you have giant electric axes. You have giant fuck-off electric axes, and all of the cyborgs in the street, rather than trying to shoot you John Wick style like Pistol Whip, they're all dancing like Techno Viking, and you're just smashing the fuck out of them because you're annoyed, because Techno Viking is actually apparently not a very nice guy. So there you go. But so coming back around some of the other stuff, mountains and everything else, one of the things that Julia had brought up and we were talking about was bears. And so Julia brought up the I can't remember what it's called, the Grizzly Man or the Bear Man. I think it's called the Grizzly Man. It's a documentary. I highly recommend watching it. It's a great watch. It is sad, and yes, spoilers, a bear kills him. And so it is. It's not a mockumentary. It's a documentary, and is a guy who, didn't fit in a lot of places in human society, and he fell in love with bears. Yes, right, Julia? It looks like so much fucking fun, and I'm really excited. Now, Lo-Fi, I'm actually excited for. Lo-Fi, Spotted Lake is just outside of Soyuz. That's my stomping grounds. There's actually these weird mineral deposits, and it's down in a little valley. And so as you're driving into a Soyuz, you go by Spotted Lake, and if it's really hot and the weather is just right, the spots actually change because they're this weird kind of scummy mineral deposit, and it's very cool. Spotted Lake is, my parents always took me there on the way to a Soyuz. It's a part of my heart. Yes, and it is, and Julia's exactly right. So coming back to Grizzly Man, since we're jumping between Techno Viking, bears, Spotted Lake, all completely related, is narrated by Werner Herzog, and so you're like, his voice is incredible. But so this documentary is about this guy, and he decided, well, I really love bears, and I'm not great with people, but bears and I get each other. And so he decided he was going to fly up to the super remote part of Alaska, and he was going to observe and interact with grizzly bears. And he, not really any training or anything like that, but he just took a bunch of resources with him and just tented out and approached bears and got footage of them. And so, the first part of the documentary is very sort of upbeat and hopeful as he's exploring and meeting bears, and he's videotaping. Like, he puts like, his camera on a tripod, and he's videotaping himself with like a bear just behind him, or he's basically taking selfies with bears. Hi again, SSB. And so he's talking about getting to know them, living around them. He, often they come up and they make aggressive moves at him, and he learns how to communicate in a way that he feels effective. And so he goes up there for many years. He does this for a long time. Eventually his girlfriend starts going with him. And yeah, so like I said, spoiler alert, you already know. But he ends up actually recording his own death. And so if you watch the documentary, that's the sort of arc. Is he believes very strongly that these bears are like people, and he can talk and communicate with them, and he probably could in some certain ways. But I guess the point of the documentary is that, yeah, follow what you love, be kind, try and exist with the natural world, but don't forget an animal is an animal. And so, we as people, whether it's in our art or our surroundings, we often try to anthropomorphize things that we see. We see faces on cars. We see human emotion in animals. We expect that because an animal responds to something we do, that's an indication that they think like we do. And yeah, boy, was he wrong. Yeah. Exactly. You think I have unlimited energy? Well, SSV, I so appreciate it. Cheers. Thank you for the compliment. I will actually be finishing the show in about 9 minutes. So I am almost done. I'm hot, but we're going to make it. So in any case, talking about our good grizzly friend here, it's worth a watch. It's a great documentary. It's happy. It's sad. You recognize that some people are different than other people. Some animals are different than other animals. Conservation matters. But yeah, unfortunately, he makes the mistake, and Big Tom touched on it. He makes the mistake of assuming that because you can have a moment of connection with an animal, that animal must think like you do. And I mean, that's the number one thing. If you want any one piece of advice from a not super outdoors person, but somebody who has had plenty of opportunities to be eaten and has not yet been eaten, my one piece of advice for you is you do not know what an animal will do, and you cannot rely on that animal to do the right thing. So you need to be very aware, and you need to get the fuck away. Yeah, never go full grizzly, man. Do you have a polar bear as a pet? I live on the side of Canada that is completely normal. It very rarely snows here. The snow stays on the mountain. Beautiful, picturesque ski hills. I live in an area of Canada that is completely normal. I do not live in an igloo. I do not know Tom from Canada. I don't play hockey. We don't all know each other. And we do not live in the snow 6 to 8 months of the year. So no, I don't have a polar bear as a pet. That would be more towards like Manitoba. There are some areas of Manitoba where polar bears are really common. Up towards Nunavut, yes, also. They definitely do exist in Canada, but not in the area that I am in, particularly, But what you've learned from every survival show is if you see a bear, start yelling bear, bear. Yeah, so the way that I remember it is black, fight back, brown, lay down, white, good night, you're fucked. But so black bears are really, really timid. Black bears do not want to mess with you. And so if you do get into a situation where a black bear wants to pick a fight with you, you fight back, and they'll eventually give up unless you're, I don't know, stealing their baby or something. A grizzly bear, if it's going to kill you, it's mostly interested if you're still alive, so you play dead. But yeah, the way that I handle things is I know it's very likely that I'm going to run into a bear. So the whole idea of yelling bear, 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 yeah, and Lax, I'm sure, does see them for sure, because the dogs that get chained out on the ice, they often get taken by the bears. But so the easiest way to remember it is just, hey, you don't want to have to yell bear because you see a bear. You just don't want to see a bear in the first place. So when I'm out hiking or whatever by myself, I either have a bear bell tied to the dog, which is just one single big jingle bell, I guess, like what you would think of, at Christmas time, those bells, like not the bell that looks like a traditional bell shape, but the one that's like round, like a jingle bell. That you either put one of those, big fuck off one on the dog's collar, one on my backpack, or I sing at the top of my lungs while I'm running on the trails. And most people here won't think you're crazy. They'll know exactly why you're doing it. So when I'm out by myself, if I don't have the dog or whatever, I'll put on like headphones that I can hear. I keep like off ear headphones, but I just sing. I sing at the top of my lungs, and nobody even thinks it's weird. Probably other places would, but I'll just be yowling at the top of my lungs, and then I don't see the bear because the bear hears me coming, and the bear can be like, that bitch is terrible, I'm out. That's how I handle it anyways. But it's very different because again, I don't know, I can't really turn this to show you, but the trees are right there, and the bears very commonly just wander down the street and stuff. So it's different. It's totally different. Do you have any pets? Yes, I have a big dog, and he's not in this room because it's very hot. He is very cute and very sweet, and he is not cut out for weather like this. So he's downstairs, and hopefully soon I will have another dog, but I don't know when. So I will hopefully have two dogs. Yeah, exactly. Tom knows what's up. In bear country, the idea is make lots and lots and lots of noise, and then you just won't ever see a bear. Problem solved. All right. You want me to commit to walking the north rim of the Grand Canyon? Yeah, yes, but hot. But I would love to do something like that. I'll look into it, but hot. Hot. So hot. Fucking hot. Polar bears will knock on your door and then eat you like reverse delivery. That's delightful. And awful. Yeah, no thank you. No thank you. Absolutely not. All right, so we're coming up towards the end of the show. Guys, what the fuck was today? What the fuck was even today? We did absolutely nothing useful. We learned nothing. We didn't even talk about technology for most of the day. We barely talked about crypto. I mean, I played some synthwave. I didn't even really talk about synthwave stuff. In general, today was a disaster, but at least I stopped screaming at you. I stopped telling you guys to fuck yourselves. I stopped yelling fuck everything. So, I'm gonna claim that as a win, that at some point we started actually at least having a conversation. Yeah, the desert does get cold at night, but I mean, I don't want to sleep all day and then move at night. Although I guess if the moon is up high enough, you'd be able to see it. I've been to the Grand Canyon a couple times in my life, but I've never done any hiking around it. I've hiked Joshua Tree. That was hot and shitty. Yeah, exactly. Bear talks. It's just bear. We talked about bears. And Techno Viking is kind of technical in a way. So, oh yeah, I don't know. I could never do the whole thing in 1 year. There's no way I could take off enough time. But I'm going to add it to the bucket list. Big Tom, I'm telling you right now, I'm committing to looking into it because it sounds like something I would do. But yes, I haven't died yet, and there's still time. Jesus. I do. And actually, there's I want to do... Fuck everything, is that my agenda? Today it is SSB. I started off the show. You came after I had settled in a little bit, but I started off the show very angry. And I was just like, let's not even do it. Let's not even stream. Fuck this shit. Fuck you. Fuck this. Fuck that. Fuck all of this. Fuck this particular thing. Hard. It just, yeah, the start of the show was a mess. Oh, you've been hiking in winter, not at night. Well, I mean, what is the temperature now? It's climbing. It's over 40 degrees. I don't know what that is in space numbers, but it's over 40 degrees. It's supposed to top out at 43 degrees. That's too hot for me. I'm a redhead, and I will fully blame my inability to deal with heat on that. I'm not good at it. It's not good. It's too hot for me. I don't like it. Normally... let's put it this way, BC for this time of year, like the highest recorded temperatures in the interiors are like 30 something. And in like the area that I live in, this time of year, it's very normal to be like 25 or so. So 40 is different. It's too hot. Yeah, look at us. 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 We made it. You guys did. So thank you. Thank you. And you know, it's good because I was angry and I'm still angry. There's all of the stuff that I want to do, all of the good that I want to do, and every single show starts with, I hate it, I'm bad, and every week less people show up because I'm bad. And eventually I'm going to fix my shit, but this week is not that week. Listen, there are more shows on today. You can go to mspwaves.com to check the whole schedule. I will be back on Thursday for Canada Day. It's a Canada Day show. But until then, I'm all done. Thanks for hanging out today, guys. Sorry the waves was fucked up. It's my fault. Ah.